Namaste, beautiful mamas. My name's Blair, and welcome to the Maternal Preparing for Birth mini course. This is just a couple of videos for you to do over the next few days to learn some of the really important yoga poses that have helped thousands of mamas get through their birth with less pain, with less intensity, with more pleasure. And I want you to know how to do these poses, to practice them throughout your pregnancy. It's never too early to start practicing. And then to have them in your back pocket. You may not use them when you get into labor. You may have other things that you want to do with your time, like bake muffins or go for a walk or sleep, watch a movie, who knows. But there's some poses that have helped me, have helped thousands of mamas, and the mamas that I have worked with through maternal over the years as they've gotten through labor, particularly the early phases of labor where it's uncomfortable, it becomes more intense, and it's not time to go to the hospital. So regardless of how you intend to give birth, they may be an epidural in your future, you may be planning to be in the water, you may be planning to be in the hospital or at home, or that's not the point here. The point here is that I'm offering you some tools that have helped the mamas through those early stages of labor and then help to get baby into a really optimal position for actually birthing that little human into the world. And one thing to just put out there before we do this first pose is there are studies, there's research now that shows that prenatal yoga, practicing prenatal yoga 1 day a week, just 1 day a week, one class a week, can reduce the length of your labor and can also reduce experience of pain. So my goal for you is to have the best possible birth experience for you, the birth that you want, and to have it with the least amount of trauma. We're talking physical trauma. We want your vagina to be nicely intact afterwards. We want your pelvic floor and uterus to all heal nicely. And we also want for you to feel like you had an empowering experience. That is my goal for you, and that's part of why I do what I do. So this is the Maternal Yoga Studio, and we do our classes live. I'm always unscripted like this. I'm currently not scripted. I'm just a mum in her basement, and our teachers in all of our classes are teaching from home and just teaching from their heart, based on their experience and their training and yada yada. Anyway, let's get to that first pose. So in this class, we're going to do just one pose. We'll do one and a bit. I'll teach you kind of a really important one that's just like a basic. And whenever I have done surveys with my community as to what's your favorite pose, what was your favorite pose, this is the one, the fave, hands down. Haha, no pun intended, because your hands will be down. And then I'm going to teach you a couple more poses over the next couple of classes, so that once you're done with this little mini course, you're going to have all of the top poses in your back pocket to practice through your pregnancy and then to have available to you when you're giving birth to your little human. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to do the favorite pose that everybody loves. So you're going to get onto your hands and knees, please, and always try and make sure you've got a soft pad underneath you or a blanket, something that's going to not put any strain or pain or pressure on your knees. And once you get down onto your hands and knees, your knees are under your hips, your hands are underneath your shoulders, and your fingers are nicely spread out. And by the way, you don't need to be on a yoga mat right now. You don't need to be in a fancy home yoga studio. Most of the mums that join the maternal classes are doing it from the floor in their bedroom or, the carpet in their lounge room. So there's no, you don't need to have fancy yoga blocks, although I'll give you one if you do enough classes. And you don't have to, I've just got pillows from the couch. Yes, I have a fancy meditation cushion, but you just don't need any of this stuff. Get it if you want to. It's motivating, but you just need to be on your floor in your bedroom or your lounge room or your bathroom, wherever you want to be. So hands and knees. for cat-cow pose. So you've probably heard of cat-cow. And what I want you to really emphasize in cat-cow, and you're still on your hands and knees, right? So your wrists might be getting a bit sore. If your wrists are already getting sore, now's the time to come down to your forearms and keep your butt up in the air. But make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. So whether you're here or you're here, the way I'd like you to do your cat-cow is to start from your pelvis. So the movement originates by tucking your tailbone down, feel the back rounding, and then feel how your head naturally wants to drop down. And then we want to lift the tailbone up, and as the tailbone lifts up, so does your chest, your collarbone, your sternum, everything spreads at the front, and your belly drops down. Can you relax your belly here? Don't feel like you need to suck it in or hold it tight. Just let it relax. But can you keep a tension in your pelvis and drop the tailbone down, rounding, the pubic bone comes up, the spine rounds at the top, and your head drops down. Your chin is connected probably to the tops of your collarbone, and you let your head hang heavy. And then inhale. So now we can connect our breath to the movement. Inhale as you lift the tailbone and spread the collarbone, spread your ribs, and then exhale, rounding the spine as you drop the tailbone down and drop your head down. So regardless of how far along in pregnancy you are, whether you're 6 weeks pregnant or you're 39 weeks and 7 days, which would make you 40 weeks, I guess, you will find this pose working for you in a myriad of ways. And my goal for you is to be moving your pelvis while you're in this horizontal position, because we're so very rarely in this horizontal position. I want you to be doing that every day if you can, even if that means getting out of bed and just immediately getting down on the floor and doing a few of these cat-cows. And when we get into the next class, I'm going to show you how to make that cat-cow a little more flowy. And actually, this is the pose that I'll show you in the next class that most of the women I have worked with over the years actually use in labor. So the cat-cow you'll probably use in earlier stages of labor to help deal with some of the cramping and to just move energy around your pelvis when it starts to feel tight. But this next class will do the rocking cobra and the birth wave, and those are the ones that the mamas tell me are just like hands down, again our hands will be down, the ones that are going that help them through labor itself. And yes, people literally do these in the hospital bed, or they do them on the floor in the hospital room, or of course they're doing them at home. I did them in the shower when I was birthing my second baby. So I'm going to teach you those poses in the next class, and I can't wait to see you there. Namaste.